Spider-Man Brand New Day, the brand new movie set inside the Marvel Cinematic Universe, is the fourth MCU Spider-Man film. And the thing is about this movie is you're like, how are they going to top themselves? How are they going to top themselves with like multiverse shenanigans and like do essentially a live-action Spider-Verse film? How in the world are you going to top that? We're seeing all three live-action Spider-Men swinging around, stopping their villains. How can that happen? How can they do it? Well, they don't top themselves. They just go smaller. Because that's what Brand New Day is. It is like your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man, grounded in the streets. Make it more emotional. Like, maybe the emotions of like Spider-Man 2, of like the OG Spider-Man 2. And that, which I always love our reaction to the trailer. Like, we're all like, it's cool. Yeah, it's kind of cool seeing, Tobey Andrew back as Spider-Man in No Way Home. Yeah, that was kind of cool. And seeing the villains back, yeah, that's kind of neat. That's kind of the nostalgic. We're like, oh my god, seeing Daredevil on the big screen, or at least Matt Murdock. Oh, that's cool. That's really cool. And then the rest of it, and then the Brand New Day trailer came along, and we're like, oh my god, he's oppressed. He's like so broke, and he's like dealing with like depression and shit, and that oh my god, we are about to learn out and insert South Park meme. It's a very smaller film, and it feels even more smaller than any of the other more grounded Spider-Man films, like the pre-MCU films. Because this feels like an indie. This feels like a very expensive independent movie where, like, yeah, there's action in it, but it's like, there's no, like Hulk's in it, and Stormy's in it, and there's some fights there, here and there. But it's more on the emotion. Everything feels very small and stale. The villain itself is a more, how to put this villain? Like, the villain, without hitting any spoilers here, isn't much of, say, a physical threat. Well, what they're able to do. Really try not to hit spoilers here. I mean, who was the villain? I don't want to hit that part. But when it comes, so everything does feel more spoiler. And even through like the interactions, like, Peter's whole thing is like, the whole world doesn't remember who he is, because of the events of No Way Home. Because of it, you get that emotion. You get some really good scenes, some really shocking scenes as well, where you're like, oh my god, why did this person do that? That's really horrible. Or, like, it is kind of like showing the chops of, there's actually a really good scene, actually two really good scenes, actually. One with, both with Peter Parker and the Punisher. And another one between Peter and MJ. And both those scenes, you're like, this is kind of showing the acting chops, kind of showing the nuance that this franchise and the John Wick can do. And it's just like, it really well puts it together. I'm once again trying not to hit spoilers. Here. Hulk shows up. Really good action, pretty good. Like, Savage Hulk is back. That's pretty good. The other, Punisher. Let's talk about good old Frank Castle. Let's be honest. I think all of us was like, how are they gonna do Punisher in like a friendly, more family-friendly Spider-Man movie? Because Punisher, the Marvel, this is like the movie debut of this version of the Punisher, because the John Bernthal Punisher has been on television, and that version of the Punisher is violent as hell. And knowing that the Netflix stuff is now canon, and Daredevil season 1, Born Again season 1, sorry, and Punisher Brand New Day, one last kill. He's brutal as hell. Blood is splatting left, right, and center. You're like, oh my god, like, how are they going to do this? And they found a way to do it. I mean, I will say this. Like, it's more... Like, let me tell you something. this is more, I'd say, A's action hero Punisher. Like, he's still, like, grieving about his wife and kids, and he's still, like, you can tell, like, okay, that Punisher is still the Punisher from those more violent, the worst of those violent versions. But, like, it's not a spoiler here because it's in the trailers and all that. He and Spider-Man fights the Hulk. So they find ways to have Punisher shooting guns left, right, and center without him, brain splatter everywhere. Like, they find a way to do that. So I kind of say, like, they're going full on, like, Rambo Punisher because of that whole action sequence. There's humor, like, you get the Spider-Man quips left, right, and center. I saw some people complain about the third act being too long. I don't think the third act was too long. I thought that they had a good balance. It had a good, like, look, I think the ending of the film, like, we're so used to, like, the big giant action sequence, and that's how the third act is completed. Well, you have your little action sequence here in the third act. The main caveat is the more emotional stuff that happens in that third act that adds onto it as well. You got now, of course, there's the Say Sing character, and it's just like, it's the worst kept secret if you know what the worst kept secret is or who her character is. Really good. Really good. If we see more of her, it's a thumbs up. It is a thumbs up. Definitely show that if they go the route that they that character's known for going, it shows that that character can go that far. The Pole is in this movie for 30 seconds, everyone. So if you're freaking out about, how many minutes do we see Pole? Like a minute. Now, if you don't understand who Pole is a character for the comics who's like MJ's boyfriend after the whole Peter Parker selling his marriage to the devil. It's all that kind of stuff. And everyone, like, hated Pole. Now, Pole's dead now in the comics now. He's dead. He's completely kablooey. But, so every time Pole shows up, everyone goes, ugh, who's this guy? Ugh. So every time someone mentions Pole, I go, who the fuck is Pole? Like, who's Pole? But yeah. Anyway, this is a really more smaller Spider-Man film, which is a good palate cleanser before we get into the two big Multiverse. Doctor Doom is taking the multiverse and all that kind of bluey.